morning, YouTube fans. It is Thursday, October 5th, 2023. Time is about 10:22 in the morning, and we have just launched on Bodega Bay over at the launch ramp over on Spud Point. And weather forecast today was for a high of I think it was 74, and light winds becoming westerly at 5 to 9 miles an hour, I believe it was. And we're being joined today by my Mudbuddie Shelly Benson, who's going to be rowing her excuse me, her racing canoe. And Shelly has elected to go up the beach here about a quarter mile and just park alongside the road. And since she is car top plunging, just carry her, I think it only weighs like 30 pounds, canoe down to the water. So Shelly should be joining us directly. High tide this morning was I think it was about 8:30, and excuse me, low tide this morning was about 8:30, and high tide this afternoon is around 3:30. So we're gonna have plenty of water under us. The low tide today was like 2.7 feet, something like that. So we have lots of water. Anyway, it's a bit warm out here because the light wind is not providing any cool breezes on us. Just a gorgeous day out here, clear and warm. Typically out here, it's Bodega Bay. It is quite often foggy and very windy. It's kind of a blustery wind at that. Oh, I forgot to install my GPS. Working there. Trip master, reset values, reset, and got our location. Continue anyway to follow, and there we've got our map. So congestion is very annoying this morning. For those of you who are not familiar with Bodega Bay, it is a very, very shallow body of water. At low tide, especially down around, say about 0 to a 1, it's mostly mud banks. So what we typically will do out here is to try and stay in the channel off to starboard from here on out of the entrance to the bay. Once you get out of the channel against this west shore of the bay, there's a lot of seagrass and mats that float right up to the surface until the tide gets well up. I've only been here one time before, but rode into a mat of that seagrass and had a bugger of a time getting out. A lot of it floating here on the surface, just loose strands. It's a county campground. Primarily looks like RVs. That's just to the south of the launch ramp area. And it looks like it's got a lot of RVs in there, trailers and campers. All right, we're in the channel now. And with the wind out of right out of the south, going pretty much right up the channel, and we're just going to turn here and let the boat drift a bit. Talking about how shallow the water is, maybe a couple hundred yards south of us on the easterly side of the channel, maybe 100, 150 feet out from the edge of the channel, is a buoy that's mostly lying on its side. So looks like the water outside the channel is probably less than 4 feet deep. Here comes Shelly. What's that?
There's all kinds of little fish.
Yep.
It's kind of easier for me to see them when I paddle into them. They jump out in front of the boat.
Ah.
You're kind of facing backwards. So
Yeah, I don't see them. Looks like you picked up a bunch of sludge right near the beach there.
Yeah, it was really sludgy right where I put in.
I was just noticing back a couple of channel markers back over there on the left side. There's a buoy out there. It looks like it's only probably about 100 feet outside the channel. It's lying on its side.
Yeah, I saw one that was tilted. Is that just like an extra channel marker? Is that...
It might very well be. I don't know. I don't remember that. I've only been out here one other time, and what I did was I rode right out to the mouth.
Okay, so what is red versus green?
Port and starboard.
Oh, okay.
And in the United States, there's I forget what the term is, but it's red right returning.
Red right returning.
So we're returning. We're headed in. So the red buoy is on. Keep the red buoys on your right. I'm not sure how accurate it might be, but I think Europe, well, I know that they have reversed the colors, and I think they used to have the same red right returning, but they've now reversed the colors so that the colors are put for you returning to port. So the green would be on your right, which is green right starboard, green right starboard, red left port. That's the, what do they call that? You have words to remind you.
Oh, like mnemonics?
Mnemonic, yeah.
Well, I wonder, did they do that because it's more similar to their road driving?
I really don't know. Although, you know, they all drive on the right except for England and Australia and Japan and New Zealand.
All the Commonwealth countries except for Canada.
No, Canada drives on the like we do.
Like we do, but yeah. It's interesting that I think all the other Commonwealth countries are on.
Oh, are they?
Okay. I think it would make it extra hard if you had a border crossing and then it's like everyone had to switch.
Sweden used to drive on the left, and they changed it one day. And this was, I don't know, maybe 12 or 15 years ago, something like that. Just on this day, everything goes to the opposite side.
Right. And then, so let's see, they border, we said Sweden?
Yeah, Sweden and borders Norway.
So then, yeah, like in Norway, did that match?
I don't know. I don't know what Norway does.
I can only think that it would, because it just seems like, I can't imagine having like a contiguous, or having a border, and then once you cross the border, people have to do this switch-o, change-o to get up.
That would be the place where there was all this broken glass and chrome lying in the road. It would look like Fresno.
Yeah. I mean, my sister married a Kiwi, and so I traveled to New Zealand. And I was just floored that you could just pick up a rental car and they'll set you loose driving on the opposite side of the road. And it was good that we were a group of 4 people, so we always had driver and shotgun. And the shotgun person made sure that the person turned right and left appropriately, because we're used to doing like a tight right-hand turn. on the opposite side of the road, you need to do like a wide right.
Yes.
Like to left.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, so often it's like if you didn't have that shotgun drive to say wide right, you would be turning right into the other lane.
And I've never experienced it because I've never been in a country that drove on the left, but I've heard a lot of videos that talk about when you come to this country and you're walking and you come to a curb, look right, don't look left, because people, you know, would look right, oh, there's nobody coming, and step right out into a path of a car. On Tuesday, I went for a 9-mile row on the estuary, and at one point I had a seal following me. I noticed its head was up, and I couldn't tell what it was because it was just this kind of a round blob, and then it turned its head and I could see, oh, that's a seal. And it looked at me and swam toward me a little bit and then submerged. And then a little while later, I saw it come up again and it was still behind me, and it just kind of ambled along behind me for a while.
Yeah. So now where did you put in?
What?
Where did you put in?
At Grand Street on Alameda.
Okay.
It's a free ramp.
Okay.
On weekends, the parking could be a bit of a bugger, and you have to end up, if you got a trailer, you have to end up parking someplace up in the condo neighborhood, maybe a block or two away.
So are you actually over on Alameda, on the island?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go through the Posey Tube, and when you come to Buena Vista, which is one of the major longitudinal streets on the island, you just turn left and drive down to Grand. It's a stoplight. Turn left, and if you keep going straight, you'll go into the water.
Okay.
At the ramp.
And then from there, did you kind of paddle?
I started out and I headed out. My plan had been to go out to the entrance to the at the northwest end of the estuary, right out to the bay, and I ended up stopping about 3/4 of a mile short and turning around.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture where that was. I lived in Alameda for like a year. When I was working consulting for Oakland. And yeah, the place I was renting was right on the water, so I could put my boat in.
Oh wow.
And it was the channel where the island faces the mainland.
Yeah, that's called the estuary.
Okay. So yeah, and then I was more on I guess that would be the south end of the island. So from my place, usually then I would just go south around the end of the island,
right
underneath that bridge that's on the
Yeah, there's two bridges there, the traffic bridge and the bicycle pedestrian bridge, yeah. Just before you go under that bridge, on the end of the island is the Aeolian Yacht Club.
Oh, okay.
It's a very old club and quite small. And we have at least 2 members of the Traditional Small Craft Association that belong to that club, so that's where we have our annual meetings. And what I do typically is to launch at Grand Street, and it's about 3.5 mile row, and I go down there and tie up to their docks and then row back. No, it comes up here, I think the end of this month.
Okay. Have you organized other rows for them?
No, just that one.
Okay.
And last year, I'm trying to remember why. you know, typically it's about a week before Christmas, and for some reason last year, I think it might have been the wind on Lake Sonoma wasn't any good, so we rode on the Petaluma River.
Okay.
Which the people prefer anyway, because they like rowing up to the turning basin and then stopping in, having a beer and having lunch. And
Yeah, it's too bad there's not more. There's really not any sort of boat launch put-ins for
I can't quite hear you. More boat launch places where?
Tamales Bay.
Yeah.
There's
That one at Marshall.
yeah.
And then there's one south of Marshall. It's just a dirt lot.
That dirt one, yeah. But I was thinking like with the dock or something.
Oh yeah, no.
It's really just that Nick's Cove one in Marshall, right?
They have a big camp out. I think it's 3 days, 2 nights at Marshall Beach, which is over on the Tamales Point side. And they all launch over there at Marshall or at whatever that little dirt lot is.
That dirt one, yeah.
And this boat is not a Tamales Bay boat, unless it's a day like this when you're guaranteed that the wind's not going to start coming up.
Right.
Because it's so shallow, the chop is really short and sharp,
Yeah.
and I just end up rowing in place and not having any fun at all. But what I have done was I just used Google Earth and searched because from the around the Inverness Yacht Club, they have a hoist at Inverness Yacht Club, which you could probably I could probably get the use of, because I have a Lake Merritt Sailing Club card, and they might give me reciprocal privileges there.
Oh, okay.
But it's a hoist. However, they have a ramp at a hotel that's about a quarter of a mile north of the yacht club, and I have thought about one time when I'm just out that way, stopping in and just asking them if I were to pay you a fee, would it be possible to launch my trailer rowboat and park in your parking lot and use your ramp?
I didn't know that they had a ramp.
Well, I looked on Google Earth and was just searching for, you know, what there was,
Yeah.
and they had a little ramp.
They had a ramp. Okay.
And I'm sure it's just for their
And that one, I mean,
for their
you
tenants.
have to watch the tide for there, because
Well, yes.
it'll get pretty high and dry at the low tide.
I sailed there once back in the 70s, because when I started racing, I started meeting all kinds of people, and I met people from the Santa Rosa Sailing Club, and they used to go out there and trailer launch, or actually they carried the boats off the trailers and went out and set them in the water.
Okay.
But so that was a deal, because Aledo draws 4.5 feet of water with the board down all the way, and so you had to carry your boat out quite a ways so you could even put the board down at all, so you could sail off the beach. Otherwise, you try and sail with the board up and the boat just goes sideways,
Okay.
and you can't control the direction it's going at all.
You need to turn.
What's that?
You need to turn.
Oh, there's the channel has turned here.
Did you want to go in like that?
Well, I don't know. I'm rowing backwards here and didn't realize that wall was behind me. I wasn't looking. Yeah, the marina's on the other side of that wall. I was talking instead of looking in my rearview mirror. I was wondering where the other range marker is, then I can just see it through the gaps in the top of that fence there. That's what this red and white stripe is. That's a reflective stripe. And when you see one of those, there will be another one that's directly in line with that. And at night you can come in and you can turn on your spotlight and you can line up the two signs, and then you don't have to see where you're going. You just keep those two signs lined up and it takes you right down the channel. See, there's the other one.
Right in line with the whole channel. Okay.
I need to look at the possibilities of Half Moon Bay, because if the conditions are right, the tide and the wind are okay, you could go out and have a very interesting row just kind of around their bay behind the breakwater, and then there are this just whole row of restaurants.
Oh yeah.
Right along the edge of the water on the south. On the south or the north edge of the bay. You still just want to row for an hour and a half or so?
I mean, I'm pretty open schedule. So yeah, we can check out more for sure.
I'm sorry?
We can go longer.
I was thinking, being as that we're on a flood tide right now, that we could row out to the entrance without having to fight the current trying to suck us out of the bay.
Yeah, and how calm it is, that would be nice.
Yes.